I'm preparing for a lockdown. I'm preparing to realize that I'm going to have to fend for myself. Now, why do I say that? And why do I say that you should be preparing too? Because there's too many stars aligning up. Do you believe that the world's just going to take it? That now Trump and RFK are together and they're growing in numbers. Harris's numbers are going down even after the DNC. You think they're going to take that line down? Today we're going to talk about 3 or 4 stories, headlines, that are maneuvering around America and the world. And they all have one common denominator: lockdowns, changing in policy before an election. Let's talk about it today. Are we going to be locked down? And should you prepare for it? Hey guys, welcome to The Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. If you are new to the channel, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell. Give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, that's okay, but let us know what you think about the content of today's video. Also, remember, if you subscribe to the channel, it's just a few days left of August, we give away something each and every month. This month, we're giving away Genesis Gold, which is a precious metal silver bar. It's called a prepper bar. You can break that out. It helps you learn how to barter with gold and silver. So they have a gold bar and a silver bar. We're going to be giving away a silver bar free of charge. All you have to do is just be subscribed to the channel, comment on the videos for the month, and then give us a thumbs up and let us know what you think about this content. Now, today's video, we're going to be talking about lockdowns. Now, don't start in the comments before you watch the video and say, oh, I'm not locking down. I agree. I'm not saying I'm personally locking down. I'm saying I'm preparing for it because that is what they're going to do. Now, do I believe that there's something in severity to get to that point? Do I believe there's a black swan event already planned? No, I don't. But I believe they're throwing the noodles on the wall, as I've said before. And when they throw noodles on the wall, something's gonna stick. Why? Let's talk about a few of them right now. Since the knowledge of the WHO saying that Mpox has got a new deadly strain and it's spreading across the world, and it was just in Congo, just in African countries. All of a sudden, the day after that in San Francisco, the day after that in Sweden, the day after that in the UK. You're starting to see the maneuvering of that strain. You're like, oh, well, that's just, that's all preposterous. Do you know our government's already invested billions into making vaccines for it? Isn't that unbelievable? Now, that's just one. What about some other things that just come up in the news this week? And you don't believe to tell me that they're trying to set policy. They're trying to set policy. Listen to this. Massachusetts health officials are advising residents to stay indoors because they've implemented a curfew, outdoor activities, after 6 o'clock for at least the next few months, up until October, after deterring a human case of EEE. Now, I'm telling you, when you come up with all these names, you're like, what is that? We just said, we have Mpox, we come up with all these CVs and all this. This is what it is. It says, Eastern Equine Encephalitis is transmitted by mosquitoes. Isn't it funny how just a few weeks and months ago we talked about modified mosquitoes and how they were going to save the earth, and some billionaire started putting them in our United States. I digress. Eastern equine encephalitis is a virus that can cause a febrile illness, neurologic diseases, meningitis, and encephalitis. There are no things to prevent or medications that will help with this situation. The timing is interesting though, because all of a sudden this is the same time that Fauci is in the hospital, and this was from a week ago. Fauci was in the hospital for West Nile, and then of course went home right after that. So we have another mosquito disease that is now spreading, and they're saying we're going to start spraying for it. So now you've got billionaires providing GMO mosquitoes. Okay, now you have mosquitoes that have developed some kind of unique illness, bloodborne illness, that basically when they sting you, it could cause some major problems. Now we're going to tell the people to lock down because these two things are dangerous, so we're going to put a solution of poison in the air to kill them all. Think about that. But remember, curfews and lockdowns. Now, should you be fearing the mosquitoes? I mean, we live in the South. We have mosquitoes everywhere. I mean, they're huge and they bite. That's why people were pushing West Nile a few years ago. But to be honest with you, I'm not worried about the mosquitoes maybe, but what about if they're GMO modified? What if all of a sudden they're putting poison in the air to kill them? That'd be some things I'd be thinking about. So Massachusetts is trying to say, hey, look, we're going to start spraying just to let you know you may want to stay indoors because there's this new mosquito transmitted disease that we have no safety against other than just killing them. Now let's go across the seas to UK. There's an acidic gas cloud that is engulfing the UK skies. It says British have warned to stay indoors because there's a cloud of corrosive and acidic gas that is causing major health problems for a lot of citizens of the UK. Weather maps show that the massive cloud of sulfur dioxide is spat from a volcanic eruption in Iceland and is now completely covering the country. The SO2 is predominantly produced by the combustion of coal and crude oil, and it makes this gas. Now, the push here is, well, you got to lock down, but also this is a climate problem because that would have never happened if we wouldn't have caused problems. If we wouldn't have been eating those beef cows, it wouldn't have been a problem. If we wouldn't be putting hairspray on our hair, it would be a problem. If we wouldn't be doing gas for cars, it wouldn't be a problem. So it gives them a twofold situation. Oh, well, you need to be indoors because this sulfuric acid is going to harm you if it gets on your skin. Well, it's caused by a natural event. No. It's not caused by a natural event. It's caused by your climate problems. But the answer is lockdown. Stay indoors. Curfews. Did you know there's cities now, like Chicago, who have there's massive amounts of stealing, looting, and theft. So now they're telling their residents after a certain time you may want to go indoors. Baltimore doing the same thing. We don't have enough police protection in certain areas. You may want to go indoors after certain times. Now, will any of these noodles stick? You know, there's a new strain of CV out too. Will any of these noodles stick? I don't know. Do you see how much they're trying to throw at you though? Did you realize Hezbollah was trying to bomb Israel last night? Did you realize NATO is sitting on the Finnish border with Russia just in case they need to go in and do more damage for Ukraine because Ukraine can't hold that border? You don't believe there's going to be a black swan event and that the Democrats are just going to take this election in a landslide victory for Trump? Trump's numbers have went up dramatically since RFK. Did you hear the Pennsylvania numbers? Oh, well, Kamala's winning in a landslide now. So it shows the polls you may not can believe, but what it's doing is allowing some of these states to already implement. Well, you know, we see, the Democrats are winning, so we're not locking down because we believe that Trump's going to win. We're actually just locking down for safety. Prepare for a lockdown. Prepare for some craziness. Prepare for some weeks-long voting. Prepare for those kind of things, not because it's real, but it may be manufactured. I want you to listen to this quote. I thought it was so brilliant, and we've talked about this a few days ago, but this quote, I think, hits it home. This is from Walter E. Williams. I don't know Walter E. Williams, but I thought this was a brilliant quote. It says, most of the great problems that we face in America, in the world, are caused by politicians creating the solutions to the problem that they created in the first place. We probably wouldn't have mosquitoes causing us harm other than a bite if we wouldn't have modified them. We probably wouldn't have Americans sick from cancer and sick from diseases and have type 1, type 2, and Alzheimer's type 3 if we weren't feeding them trash food that was not good for us. We probably wouldn't have the problems that we're having with some of the diseases and viruses if we wouldn't have brought them to a point where they went from mammalian to animal, or from insect to animal, or from bat to animal to now to human. Because we chose to change that pattern. We chose to make that happen through functioning of Fauci, through other means. So all the stuff that we see from the natural events that now they're saying it's because of man-made, so it helps them spin the story so politicians can change the narrative, or the fact of mosquitoes, or the fact of this new strain, or the fact of mpox. All these things, if you go back, it may just be people causing the problem. But the problem becomes something that they can utilize to then they become the solution too. So why do I say I'm preparing for a lockdown? Let's wrap it all up. Because I don't believe the Democrats are going to take it lying down. I don't believe the globalists are going to take it lying down. I don't believe they're going to allow the two people they probably hated the most, Trump and RFK, to just join forces and all of a sudden just dominate. It's made a great coalition. We've been talking about a unity coalition. Bam, it's here. You got Tulsi Gabbard, you got Elon Musk, you're building a coalition. Did you know Telegram's founder was just locked up? Did you know Rumble's leader, Chris Pavlovsky, he just got out of UK to come back to America because he said they were threatening him. Elon Musk has already been threatened. Brazil's already shutting down Twitter. So they're going to do everything and anything in their power. If it means war, if it means censorship, or if it means lockdowns with diseases. So I'm preparing to say this. I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't believe the Democrats and the globalists are just going to allow Trump to win a landslide. I believe that they're going to do all they can to cause the problem. If it be through man-made, if it be through natural, or if it be through something that is unforeseen like a black swan. They're going to use it to their advantage to ultimately see the problem, become the solution, and cause that solution to maybe cause problems for you to have a November vote. Any truth to it? I don't know, but this is what I'm doing. I'm first putting up cash. I'm making sure that I have cash. I know people are like, oh, cash, just go on. It may be, but I'm putting up cash. Secondly, I'm putting up precious metals, gold and silver. I'm not putting those in my home. I'm putting those in very inconspicuous places. I'm using things like the Dirty Man safe that we talked about a few days ago, the cache system. I want to make sure I'm putting that up. Guess what? Gold has become the second biggest currency in the world right now behind the dollar. It surpassed the UK, the Russian, they've surpassed the Chinese currencies. It is now the second most widely spread currency with the biggest value. Even though people try to turn away from gold-backed currency, people are starting to buy it again because that means there are tough times coming. Because when people buy gold, they realize the currencies are falling. So I'm buying precious metals. Here's what else I'm doing, and this is the biggest. I'm buying food. I grow food for a living. I literally own a farm. I'm raising animals. I milk cows at 4 a.m. every morning. My wife makes butter and cheese off that, and then turn around and we raise our own dairy, beef, pork, chicken, and of course any vegetable that you can imagine, even down to sheep and other things like rabbits and other things. But I'm still buying food. I'm still making sure I have a good stockpile. Now, I'm not stockpiling things that are trash foods, and I'm going to be doing a video soon of what to stockpile and what not to stockpile when it comes to food just in the next few days. But that's what I'm doing. I'm putting up food. Also, what I'm doing, I'm buying seeds. I want to make sure that I have seeds, because if I want to keep my gardens going, not only am I growing seed, I want to make sure that my harvest is coming and I'm able to understand how to make sure those seeds are still there. So I'm buying seeds. I'm also buying from companies that tell you how to raise their seeds and keep on growing them. So I'm not buying any kind of modified or hybrid seed. I'm buying a non-GMO, an heirloom, or an organic seed. And then I'm buying them from places like Survival Seeds, so it tells you how to keep those seeds. It's one thing to grow a garden. It's one thing to keep sure that you have seeds for next year to grow another garden and another garden and another garden. So I'm picking up seed. I'm also making sure that I'm getting out of debt. I've got to get out of debt. You've got to get out of debt. It's hard right now to get out of debt. So you know what I'm doing? What I've done? I've picked up side hustles. I'm selling some of the hay that I may not need. I'm helping co-op with some feed. I'm helping sell some of my things that I'm not using on farm. I'm finding ways to make more money to then turn around and have those side hustles to make sure that I'm staying on a black budget versus a red budget. You have to do the same things. You have to get out of debt, balance a budget. So that's the things I'm doing, because I believe that there will be a black swan event or a lockdown that may happen. I'm also making sure that I'm telling people the same thing. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to warn you. Now, is everything going to be cupcakes and rainbows till November? I hope so. I hope I'm completely wrong and Trump wins by 70%. But you honestly believe that's going to happen? When the news media, the system, the globalists, and the Democrats are all working together to pretty much try to win this election or sway this election. Speaking of democracy, Cornel West is probably one of the most liberal Democratic people who's running on a kind of a third-party ticket, but it's really far, far, far left agendas. If Democrats believed in democracy, wouldn't you think they'd want him to run? No, but he pulls votes away from Democrats. Guess what? They're trying to get him off ballots in several states. Is that democracy? Is that democracy when they didn't get one vote for Kamala, but she's the chosen one, the coronated one? So let's be careful of who is supporting who. I believe when it comes to RFK and Trump, you're seeing America coming back to America. Meaning these, when you think of Elon Musk, Trump, and RFK, Gabbard, Vivek, you're actually not seeing staunch conservatism there. I think you're seeing a unity party of a lot of people who were middle of the road who just got completely fed up with the leftist agenda. So when that comes forth, that's the people that are hated the most, because the leftists say this were all people we agreed with and now we've pushed them away, so now we don't want them to even have a chance to win. The conservatives are saying, well, they're actually standing up for our beliefs, so therefore you see a America or world version of this political system for America. The only place not arresting people yet for censorship and their post on certain social media platforms? America. UK, France, Brazil, all these other countries, China, Russia, North Korea, all these places arrest you for some of the things that you are speaking about, expressing about. America hasn't got there yet. But you know what? Kamala and Walz have both come out and said free speech is only free speech when we say it's free speech. Meaning they've said comments like, well, it's not absolute. Free speech is not absolute. Well, our Constitution actually says it is absolute. But do you believe if they got in, those rights would be taken from you? Yes. They're starting now. Look at some of the policies that Biden and Kamala have already done. Do you think it's going to get better? No, it's going to get far worse. Guys, that's why I'm preparing for a lockdown. That's why I'm preparing for something crazy to happen, a black swan event. Not because I've written and I'm prophesying about it, because I don't believe they're going to take this line down, and I don't believe that they're going to allow Trump and RFK to win in a landslide. So therefore, be ready for a crazy September, crazy October, and what's in store for the 1st of November. Guys, let me know your thoughts. God bless.